Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Today is Wednesday, April the 21st, 2021. I hope you're all COVID free. I hope you are all healthy. And if you are sick, I hope you get better very quickly and that all your needs are being met. Blessings to those who work in the healthcare field to help people overcome sickness, to help save life wherever possible, risking their own lives and their own health oftentimes to help people they don't even know just because they want to. Also, blessings to those who pick up garbage to keep our places clean. Those that make deliveries for us on bicycles, on motorbikes and cars for very little money, often for tips. Remember them. People that deliver food for us in large trucks over great distances for our convenience. Blessings to them. Blessings, double blessings upon those helping deliver boys and girls, men and women, children, and even babies from sex slave operations and child pornography and pornography in general. People that didn't volunteer for that life but were sold into it, kidnapped into it, raped into it. Curses upon those that support such an industry. Finally, blessings on those helping the homeless, more than 500,000 men, women, and children in the United States, and the number is growing every day as this economy gets worse, as corporations make billions, many people sleeping on sidewalks, park benches, grates of subways, boxes, in cars, and that's the real economy. 500,000 men, women, children, veterans that don't have a roof over their head in the United States, not including millions around the world in the same situation or worse. Blessings upon them, blessings upon those that are trying to help them. There was a basketball game last night, first night of a back-to-back. New York Knicks played the Charlotte Hornets for the second time this year. Charlotte blew us out the last time we played them by at least 15 or 20 points, blew us out. And Charlotte is, along with the Knicks, one of the surprise teams in the NBA this year. Right now, as far as the standings, right now they are they're in the play-in. I think they're the 8th or the 9th seed right now, but they've been a surprise team, and they've been decimated by some injuries to very key players. I mean, they lost first Gordon Hayward, who they signed to a $120 million deal. They're in the 8th seed right now, $120 million deal, and he was playing career best basketball before he got hurt. And then, of course, LaMelo Ball, probably the rookie of the year this year, surprised everybody. I mean, not really. I mean, I thought it was a 50-50 chance he could be a bust or a star. Well, he's turned into a star. He's better than his brother, and his brother's all right, but LaMelo's on another level, and he made that team really good even when he was coming off the bench. So they were missing two of those players. But Jay Borrego is a tremendous coach. He has them playing good basketball. They are now, as a result of the loss to the Knicks, they're 28-29, and they're 4-6 in their last 10. But they've been playing very good ball all year long, and they're expected to get LaMelo back next week. I don't know about Gordon Hayward, but last night, one of the reasons also they're having such a breakout season is the play of Scary Terry Rozier, who was considering the Knicks, who the Knicks were considering about a year ago, as far as getting trade or even free agency. Well, he's having a career year. He's having 20 a game. Tremendous player. I mean, both ends of the floor. He plays defense. He goes to the basket hard, and he can hit his jump shots too when he needs to. Three-pointer. He's becoming a tremendous all-around player. I think he's pretty much like behind Julius as far as most improved player, if you want to go most improved player route, because he really is one of the cogs for Charlotte. Charlotte played a good game last night. I mean, look, Charlotte last night, if you look at their stats last night, Charlotte shot 41% from the three-point line. They hit 16 three-pointers last night. They got 11 offensive boards, 39 rebounds altogether. They played a good game. I mean, you can't, they only had 12 turnovers for the game. They had 6 steals. They had a pretty good game. The way they were hitting that three, normally they'd win. Problem was they were playing a hot New York Knicks team. And the thing is that when a team starts to get on a streak like this, and it doesn't happen to a lot of teams, okay? It really just happens to good teams. But when they start getting on a streak where they win 4, 5, 6 in a row, now Knicks is 7. Sometimes breaks just come your way, when you wouldn't normally get them. Things just happen. It's like everything starts shifting towards you. I think the Nets under Coach Frank, back when Jason Kidd was on there about 15 years ago or so, when they went to the finals and lost 20 years ago when they lost to the Lakers, they won like 19 in a row that year. And I think the record is 33 straight, the Lakers or something like that. And so teams could get hot, and then brawls start bouncing your way when they normally would, and that's what happened with the Knicks last night. So the Charlotte Hornets, PJ Washington played 35 minutes. He come off the bench. He scored 26. He was 6 of 10 from 3. He was killing us from 3-point land. And so was Terry Rozier. Devontae Graham was 3 of 7, but they were just shooting. And then Miles Bridges scored 15, but he's been torching people lately. Miles Bridges, I have to admit, is the guy I wanted to take in that draft. We drafted Kevin Knox. I wanted Miles Bridges. I wanted Miles, then McCall, and I wasn't even thinking about Kevin. I was kind of disappointed they picked Kevin, but now he's a Knick, so I'm going to support him. That's the thing. When you have a guy on your team, you support your team, you support your players that they drafted. So I'm going to stick with Kev, right? But Miles is the guy I wanted, and what we saw last night is the reasons I wanted him. I knew he had that all-round two-way potential. He's hitting his three. Of course, he did a put-back dunk last night where his head was actually above the rim. Ridiculous athleticism. And he plays the all-round game. He's really maturing well. So they played well, but the Knicks, first half was terrible for us. And even being terrible, first quarter, we were up most of the quarter. Then we end up at the end of the quarter playing sloppy, and we were down 3 at the quarter. Then the half, we lost that quarter by 3. We were down 6 at the half, right? Wasn't playing right. And the third quarter is bad for the Knicks, Jeremy. But last night, we outscored Charlotte 31-16 in the third. Yeah, outscored them by 15, took the lead. Then in the fourth, we played, even kill. They were trying to come back. Like I said, Borrego has them playing good defense. They were really at us on defense. And it wasn't us. We looked bad sometimes in the fourth quarter offensively, but it wasn't just that we were being incompetent. Charlotte was really putting pressure on the defensive end. But the Knicks got tremendous contributions from Quickly. I thought Quickly was on his way to 30 last night. I really did. But combination of the fact that Julius wanted his shots. And I'm not saying Julius is selfish, but a couple of times I thought they should have kept feeding Quickly because he was killing from 3. You could see he caught the rhythm. When a player that's a great shooter gets a rhythm, you want to keep feeding that guy because he won't miss. And that's the way Quickly was playing last night. He ended up with 17. D Rose gave us 25 minutes, which is, he had been giving us 30 for the last couple of games. He gave us 25, 8 of 12 from the field, but he was timely. The veteran leadership that he shows on the floor, you can't count that. You can't discount that. He calms things down. Elfrid Payton was terrible last night. And the reason I say that is because, okay, you're an NBA point guard. Now, I'm not an NBA point guard. I can observe them. I could not play the game. Okay, so I can't be but so critical, right? But he just made some very bad decisions that you would not expect of a starting NBA level point guard. He just made some very terrible decisions. A couple of times he had fast break opportunities or he had players open and he would try to force a shot, or force a bad shot. He just had a horrible game last night. And when they sat him, I hoped, and I was right, that they would not bring him back. He went to the end of the bench and he needed to stay there. Because when D Rose came in the game, everything changed. We got settled. The ball was moving properly. He was shooting the ball at the right time in the right place and hitting at a high level. He was 8 of 12. He shot very well last night. 5 assists. And he played 25 minutes. Very efficient. It was vintage D Rose. Very efficient. So that was big for us. And of course, I mentioned Quickly only played 20 minutes, but he was 17 points in 20 minutes. Okay. RJ, well, we'll talk about him in a second, but Nerlens Noel, again, 11 boards, 2 offensive, 2 blocks. Taj Gibson only shows 6 points, 8 rebounds, 6 offensive boards. Taj Gibson was a monster on offensive boards last night. 6 offensive boards, 2 blocks. Again, the stat sheet, this is what I'm saying. The NBA 2K crowd doesn't know basketball. Because if you look at his stats, you would rank him low and you're talking all this about, he stinks, he's old, blah, blah, blah. But if you actually watch the game, Taj Gibson's defense, his IQ, it stabilizes the defense. It stabilizes the team defensively. Offensively, it gives us more opportunity. 6 offensive boards. Okay? That's huge, right? So, and especially in a game where our opponent is not missing. PJ Washington was unconscious in the first half. Really was. And so Taj, that hustle, that 50-50 balls he gets, that's where you get 6 offensive rebounds. The 50-50 balls he gets, you cannot quantify that. There's no quantifying that, especially for a guy 35 years old. This is why Tibbs wanted him on his team. You can see it. Okay? Very high IQ, tough defender. Love Taj Gibson. Love that. And then Nerlens Noel also. The defense, tremendous. Between him and Todd, they're anchoring the defense. And I want to tell you, y'all got short memories, both good and for bad. If the Knicks lose 3 in a row next week, y'all forget about they won 7. Talk about how they should have tanked or some stupidness, right? Some of y'all will do that, believe it or not. But Mitchell Robinson's better than both of them. Okay? He's better than both of them. So you got them, and you got Mitchell Robinson, and they anchor the defense. For all y'all, I don't know who's out here talking about we shout at the 5. We need more 5s. We should go get Drummond. Y'all crazy. I told y'all was crazy. No, we deep at the 5. That's one of our strongest points, the 5. Okay. So Nerlens Noel and Taj Gibson have been tremendous, especially during this 7-game winning streak. They have been tremendous on the defensive end. That's where the Knicks win basketball games. We do not win basketball games offensively. We win basketball games defensively. That's where everything starts with us. When the Knicks were playing horrible defense last night in the first half, we were getting torched, right? All of a sudden, this is why I wanted Tom Thibodeau to be the coach. I did want Kenny Atkinson, but Tibbs was my second choice, and this is why. Halftime, you knew they were going to get some words from Tibbs. You knew foot was going to be placed in behinds at the second in the halftime. You knew they were going to come out and play different ball second half, and they did. Now, this is the reason also, the reason this happened. The reason Thibodeau is able to do this, get all up in them and make them come out and play, the reason that happens is because you got your star player buying in. Because Julius Randle, he wants that. He wants you to come at him. He wants his coaches to push him. Look what's happened to him. He's an all-star. He's definitely in the conversation for all NBA, one of the 3 teams of all NBA. No question about it. He is the most improved player in the NBA. And so he has turned his career around. He has brought it to a new level. Okay. He went from potential to reaching potential to a star. And this is what I'm saying. This is just his first year realizing that. And he's still 26. He's going to get better, believe it or not. Julius Randle is going to become more efficient. He's going to get better. Last night was the best passing I have seen, and he's had more assists in other games. Last night, they credited him with 7 assists. I thought he had more than that. But the way he saw the floor on the double team, we were talking about this a couple of games ago. The Knicks had won a game, but he did not play well in terms of reacting quick enough to the double teams and catching the open man. No, that wasn't the case last night. He was actually finding his teammates. Okay. He surveyed the floor. He knew what the defense was going to do when they came at him on a double team, and he would hit the open man. It was beautiful to watch. I'm telling you, that's beautiful basketball to watch, man. And so they credited him with 7 assists. I thought he had more than that. And speaking of his assists, what he did, RJ had a terrible first half shooting wise. He just couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. It's like he had them shades, them Ray Charles shades on. He couldn't hit nothing, right? He just couldn't, right? And he was out of sync a little bit. Okay. His defense was still there, but he was out of sync offensively. Second half though. See, this is what Rowe does, man. This is the thing. In the NBA, there are players that you consider scorers. What do I mean by that? They're shooters and they're scorers. Okay? Let me talk like a shooter is like a Joe Harris, like a Bogdan Bogdanovic. These are shooters. Like their game is predicated on that jump shot, right? They're not strong to the hole. They don't finish strong at the rim, but they can shoot the lights out. And if you get them in a rhythm, you're in trouble, right? That's a shooter. We got one. That's Bullock. Bullock is a shooter. RJ is a scorer. What is the difference? A scorer is going to get his points, but he may not get it the same way every night. And he's always going to get his points. Last night he had 24, RJ. So he's going to get, this year he's going to get that 17, 18, 19 points. If you see him with 0 in the first half, no, that in the second half he's going to go off because he's a scorer. He's going to get his points. Now, it didn't happen every time for him because he's still in his second year. He's still 20 years old. But that is what we see with him. He is going to be a scorer. He's going to be a 20-point scorer. And so that's the type of guy that he's going to get his 20 points. You're not going to stop him from doing that. Okay. So when you saw last night, his first half was horrible. That's when I think Julius Randle told him, okay, so you're going to get a big second half because he's a scorer. He's going to get his points. Last night, all of a sudden, Julius was looking for him. And that's another, improvement, a drastic improvement in Julius Randle's game. He is looking to make the right basketball play. Okay. I remember LeBron when he first came in the NBA. That's what he still does it. But what happened is when he went to the Miami, people was expecting him to dominate the basketball, especially in the closing moments of a game. But LeBron's IQ is like so high. He remembers plays from games and games and games ago. He remembers what teams like to do in certain situations. So he's programmed almost to make the right basketball play, even if it doesn't mean he's going to shoot it. He makes the right basketball play. And that's what Julius is starting to do right now. He's making the right basketball play. So, which means what? He's going to hit the open man and trust him to shoot the ball and hit no matter who it is. He gave Peyton like 3 open shots like that. Of course, Peyton bricked most of them. But, Peyton doesn't do that every night, but he did it last night. But he was doing that with RJ. He was finding RJ, and he was hitting RJ, making the right pass, the right basketball play. And in the second half, Mr. Rowan was knocking them down, baby. He was knocking them down, so he ended up 6 of 11 from 3, 8 of 17 overall, 24 points. He didn't get much in terms of rebounds or assists, but he was playing defense and he was killing them with that 3-point. He was the dagger. He was the dagger last night. So he was hurting them with that 3-point. Reggie Bullock, again, along with Noel and Taj, I believe very strongly Reggie Bullock should be on one of the all-NBA defensive teams. We should have 3 players on them teams this year. There's first, second, and third team. The Knicks should have 3 players out of them 15 because we're one of the top 3 defenses in the NBA. Okay. Number 1 in several categories, right? And Reggie Bullock, he's not the anchor. The anchor is Noel and Taj and Mitch when he was playing, but he, from the perimeter. See, I was concerned with them not giving Frank Ntilikina minutes because up until this point, Frank Ntilikina was our best perimeter defender. No, Reggie Bullock has taken that now. And he can play defense on the perimeter, man. He's always guarding the best offensive player on the other team. Just without question. You can't discount that either. Okay? Always. And the Knicks are now in sole possession of the 5th seed in the East. The 5th seed. Okay? No matter what happens going forward, this has been a successful season. Okay? Now, the Knicks have played up to this point, 59 games. Okay? They're the 5th seed. I told y'all, I've been telling y'all all year they're going to be at least the 6th seed. I told y'all that. And they're going to be the 6th seed. Okay? They may be the 4th seed. Now tonight is a big game. Forget the 7 in a row. All of that goes out the window. It's tonight. Tonight's the game. We're playing the Atlanta Hawks in the Garden tonight. Atlanta also spanked somebody last night. They spanked somebody last night. Who'd they play last night? Them cats beat Orlando 112-96. They beat Orlando by 16 last night. Okay? They beat Orlando by 16. And, yeah. And so for both us and Atlanta, It's the second night of a back-to-back. Fortunately for us, it's in the Garden. Then again, though, I think we all understand. When we play in Atlanta, it's almost like a home game. They got so many Knicks fans in Atlanta, it's ridiculous. But we don't have to travel. They have to come to us. They have to travel, okay? We don't have to travel. So we're home already, waiting for them, okay? So we got both of us second night of back-to-back. Atlanta's 32-26. The Knicks are 32-27. The Knicks are a half game behind them, okay? We can do the full game tonight and be a half game ahead of them in sole possession of the 4th seed if we win tonight. Okay. Tonight's the night. Forget the 7 in a row. Tonight's the night. Okay. We got to win tonight's game. Period. Okay. Period. Forget the future. Forget the past. It's tonight. Okay. So the Knicks got to win tonight. The daggone Bogdanovich is playing his butt off. Of course, Trae Young's a problem. Herter, he's a very solid wing player out of Maryland. He was solid from his rookie year and he's getting better. Okay. And then, of course, Capella's man in the middle. They are scary. And I told y'all, Nate McMillan. I told you that Tom Thibodeau's the white version, the Caucasian version of Nate McMillan. Because they the same coach. He's a defensive coach. Every place he goes, his teams play defense. And the problem with Atlanta up until this point is they hadn't played defense. And they got Trae Young. He ain't no defensive player. And yet, McMillan's figured out how to go around his weaknesses, that is Trae Young's, and create a defensive unit that's tough, man. Tough. Okay? Okay, so last night, again, they held Orlando under 100 points. I'm not saying Orlando was no, playoff team, but that's an NBA game, right? So this is the second night back-to-back. They played in Atlanta last night. They coming to New York tonight to play against the Knicks. So, listen, this is what it's about right here. Okay, no mercy. We can't worry about who they not playing, who's playing. The Knicks got to come out and play New York Knicks defense, New York Knicks basketball. This is Nate McMillan. I'm thinking Nate McMillan is really their MVP. Just like I'm telling y'all, I told y'all, everybody was talking about the Knicks lack talent. You remember that beginning of the season? The Knicks lack talent. The Knicks, this roster. The Knicks got to upgrade their roster. And I told y'all, the Knicks did upgrade their roster. They did get talent when they hired Tom Thibodeau. Okay? They did get talent, right? And Tom Thibodeau, I'm telling y'all, like the MVP, right, of the Knicks. Aside from Julius Randle, right? That's Nate McMillan for Atlanta. That is no joke. When he became coach, they went on like an 8-game winning streak. They started kicking butt, right? They're 8-2 in their last 10. Okay? Atlanta's rough, man. This ain't the old Atlanta Hawks. These are the Atlanta Hawks that was under Coach Budenholzer that won 60 games. They're like that one. Okay? So this ain't no easy thing we got tonight. We got to win this game. Okay? This is the game right here. So, this is exciting that the Knicks, we're talking about the New York Knicks battling for the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference. We're talking about the New York Knicks in late April battling for the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference. That's what we're talking about. Okay? The New York Knicks that were scheduled to win 22 and a half games have now won 32 games. I thought 31 and I said overachieve. These guys are good. The Knicks defense is not a defense that's improving in terms of it needs to get better. No, it's already there. The Knicks defense is already there. Okay? And I also told y'all. See, I'm doing a lot of told you so's for all you haters out there. If you recall, I told y'all in January, don't trip. They're going to get better as the season goes on. Remember that? I said, don't trip. They're going to get better as the season goes on. Look. Aren't they getting better? Isn't Julius getting better? Isn't RJ getting better? Isn't that defense turning into... Damn. I call them the dogs, man. Because all Thibodeau said, he opened the cage and say, Sk! And they out. So after the first half, that's what they did. They came out and played Tom Thibodeau, New York Knicks style defense. And boy, it was a battle, man. But RJ was the difference. Hitting that open shot. Bullock also. He started hitting his. Man. So, yeah. It's all good, man. So tonight, my only concern would be, that they're gassed. Julius played for 40 minutes, and Randle played 40 minutes. Barrett played 40 minutes, and Julius Randle played 40 minutes last night. Bullock played 38. But at this point of the season, man, everybody's tired. Every team. Everybody has injuries. Every team. Okay? And the New York Knicks have been pushing fitness in terms of basketball fitness from last training camp, as y'all know. And so this is where that comes in. Second night of a back-to-back, you fighting for the 4th seed. You need to suck it up and show up. I'm looking for the Knicks to do that tonight against Atlanta. This is a big game. There's no joke about this one at all. So, Obi, Obi only played 5 minutes last night. Kevin played 7 minutes. Kevin blew several. I noticed the defense went down a little bit when Kevin came in. They got Hornets got a couple of easy baskets when Kevin came in. Kevin has got to pick up his defense. He's got to be more focused. He cannot come in and not play defense. Okay, he's got to be number one. But Obi caught somebody within 8 feet of the basket and did a move that was so smooth. It was like great scorers make scoring look easy in the NBA. Now, scoring in the NBA is not easy. You're playing against the best basketball players on planet Earth in the NBA. So the great scorers, though, they make it look like it's easy. Like, you and I could do it. He put a move on somebody. I forgot who it was. Spun, banked the ball off, did a bank shot, and did it so smooth. It's like, you know what? If this cat, I don't know how they're going to do it, but we have got to get away. If not this season, because we already got the rotation set. But I'm talking about next season. We have got to find a way to get this kid 20 minutes at least. He's got to get, because, this kid is talented, man. He just needs that time to run through his mistakes and be prepared and come out and get it. He needs his touches. He needs touches. I don't know how they're going to do it because Julius Randle is obviously our 4. He's a stretch 4. He's an all-star. He's our man. So I don't know what they're going to do with Obi because I feel like it's wasted talent, him getting 5 minutes, 8 minutes for him, because the talent is there. On that move, I was like, this kid, he made that look too easy. Really, he did. And I was like, and he doesn't shoot a lot. I don't know what they're going to do, but he has got to get some minutes. I don't know how. I don't know how he would do it, but he needs to get some minutes. Hopefully, this summer he continues working with Kenny Payne and Johnny Bryant and crew and comes in next year. I don't know if he would lead the second unit at the 4 spot. I don't know, but he's got to get more. He's got to get more minutes, man, Obi. So, but this year it is what it is. Unless somebody gets hurt, God forbid, or somebody is in foul trouble, he won't get those type of minutes, but he should. So anyway, good win last night for the Knicks, number 7. Okay, like I said, we got to put that out of our mind though. Tonight's the night. Forget 8 in a row. This is not about 8 in a row. This is about 4th seed in the East. That's what this is about. 4th seed in the East tonight. That's what this is about. And Julius Randle admitted, they're looking at the standings. They know what they need to do. The Knicks understand. This is going to be what I'm going to like about this game. You're going to see a playoff atmosphere tonight. It's going to be a playoff atmosphere in New York tonight, when they're playing, because they're battling for the 4th seed today. Okay, so let's root for our team, y'all. Y'all be safe out there on Hump Day, Wednesday. A lot of craziness happening in New York. People just rolling up and shooting people. It's going crazy out there. Not just New York, all over the country. It's tripping out here. So be safe. Be careful out there. Anything could pop off at any time, any place, the way these things are going today. So be safe out there. Most High protect you, keep you safe, and enjoy the game like I'm going to enjoy the game. Shalom.